You're listening to Accomplish Radio from Accomplish.com. It's a safe space with cuddle pets and hipster haircuts. Okay, not really. From productivity to business strategy and market insights, there's something for every business leader and entrepreneur. Hipster haircut or not. Sorry, no cuddle pets though. We do have to draw the line somewhere. Welcome to the show.
All right, everybody, welcome to Accomplish Radio. I am your host, Billy Bush, as usual, and today we're going to dive into doing the hard things and when we should do the hard things. In fact, this show today is pretty much an example of doing the hard things because I am dealing with some sort of gnarly throat infection, and that's killing me, but here we are recording and I have to talk a lot, and maybe it's just because I love hearing myself talk that much. I don't know what it is, but regardless, we are here in spite of the pain and plowing through to talk about doing the hard things. And that is what, when I talk about doing the hard things, I of course mean things we do not want to do, but we know we need to do them. And I won't get into necessarily today whether, why you need to do certain things that you don't want to. I mean, but at the end of the day, there's always tasks and items and projects and things we need to work on that we're the only ones that can do it. Whether that be because of the stage of company we're at, where there's not other people to help us with it, or whether it be because it exclusively requires us, like my voice in a podcast. That is my podcast. There are certain things like that we just know we have to do. And and so when is it, or how can we deal with this? And so these are just a couple of thoughts around dealing with the hard things and getting them done. And I think what sums it up almost best, and I use all the time, is Mark Twain's classic quote and saying, which basically says, "If it's your job to eat a frog," that's right, eat a frog. If it's your job to eat a frog, it's best to do it first thing in the morning. And if it's your job to eat two frogs, it's best to eat the biggest one first. So what does that mean? Well, for most of us, I'm assuming you don't want to eat a frog. And so if you're going to have to do something like eat a frog, let's say not even frog legs, and we're talking like a live, raw frog, you got to eat a frog, you're probably not going to want to do it. And rather than torture yourself all day thinking about it, just get it done. Just get it out of the way, make it happen, pound it out, and then move on with life. And now you don't have to worry about that. It doesn't weigh on you for the rest of the day. It doesn't ruin your week. You just get it done. And if you have multiple things like that, then start with the biggest one, the one that's going to be the worst experience. Get it out of the way and move on to the next. That's really what Eat the Frog is about. Brian Tracy wrote a book called Eat the Frog, which I haven't read, but the concept is to get those items done first thing in the morning or as soon as you can that are not fun but need to happen. And I'll combine that with another concept that we utilize a lot, which is basically setting your daily 3. So part of this is really looking at your task list, your daily task list, and there's likely items on it that you don't want to do that have been on that list for 6 months. Now, I don't know, why you haven't done it, and there's various reasons that might be why things just stick on your list and you never quite get them done. You just keep kicking the can to the next day. One of them is probably it's a frog. You don't want to do it. The other might be because your list is ever growing and it's never ending, and it's always growing faster than you are checking things off, and so that's another challenge. And so I want to combine this idea of eating the frog with winnowing your list down to literally only 3 items a day. Now, it doesn't mean that you don't have other things listed out that need to get done. Maybe all the details of a project is really robust or general ideas. I have lists upon lists upon lists, but they're not my to-do lists because I know I'm never going to get them done. I mean, it's crazy. What they are is lists that I can review and explore as we're like making certain moves and things. And some of those items might end up on a task list of some sort or on my calendar, even better. But they're not really my to-do list right now. So that is the second tip here for the day is winnow down to 3 items a day, no more than 3. One of them may be a frog. And if one of them is a frog, then try to do that one first. And that's the idea. If one of them is the nasty thing you don't want to do, get it out of the way. But the beauty of 3 is that sometimes, we all pretty much overestimate our capacity. And tasks we think are going to be quick, dirty, and easy are often take twice as long or twice as hard, and that's twice the reality. So that's the first step. That's why the list always grows, is because we're like, I can do 10, and we get 3 done. All right, we get 5 done. The reality is, let's see. The reality is that 3 items is really our capacity, because some of those are probably slightly bigger, and sometimes we make them sound small when they're not. It's like, oh, just throw up that new web page. It's like building a whole web page. You got to like write the copy, you got to do the design, you got to integrate it into this, you got to set up your email responder for it. You got to. There's 1,000 things that are related to that. We tend to shrink it down to one little line item that makes it seem really super simple. So that's the first step. Is obviously that's not the case. So if we just have 3, and we get those 3 things done, we can call the day a win. Part of this is just simplifying our lives. And just, hey, these are the 3 items, man. If I get these done, it's a win. And if I got them all done by 10 a.m., and you got the rest of the day to do whatever you want. You can work on other items, but you're no longer obligated if those things don't get done. You could take a nap. I don't necessarily care what you do, but it's you've got your 3 items done for the day. So what are my big 3 for the day? And if one of them is a frog, let's make sure we get that one done first. But frankly, let's get all 3 done as quickly as we can, because then the day is a win, in spite of interruptions that might come. And that's the other piece, is there's always an interruption, there's always an issue, there's always something else that pulls your attention. So if you can get through the big 3 for the day, you can move on with your life. You can focus on other areas of the business. You can explore things without the guilt that you're not getting enough done, because those are already done. So that's, how I face the challenging task. It doesn't mean that I don't have off days, and there are plenty of those. I mean, even recording this, I enjoy doing it, but there's effort around it, and being able to come down to that and just make it happen sometimes is difficult. So it's easy to procrastinate. And that's one of the things. And it's not even the recording that's the difficult part, of course. There's a lot of other variables there, and I take it all in, and it's too much. So it's breaking it down into the big 3 things. Get it done and move on, and that's what allows me to not feel overwhelmed anyway, or at least most of the time. Something I'm working on, something I wanted to share, because it is an active battle today, something I am continuing to strive to improve, is to somehow get that list down to 3 and in any given day, and then pick the frog for the day and make it happen. So I would love to hear how you deal with getting the tough thing done. Is there any tricks, tips, or ideas that anyone else has out there, wide world of the web, that you can think of that make it easier and better and faster and whatever it is to get the tough things done? Because when we get the tough things done that move the needle in the right way, that's obviously something I want to make sure is those tough things are really going to move the needle, then we're going to start to spin up our momentum, and life will be good. So let me know your thoughts on that. Shoot me a message. I'd love to hear it. Love to share and talk further on this. But again, today, let's set that tone to get the hard things done, eat the frog, get the 3 done, and have a win of a day. And for Accomplished Radio, I'm Billy Bush, once again, signing off. Short and sweet today. Love you all. Take it easy.
Thanks for listening to Accomplished Radio from Accomplished.com. Now, get out and accomplish something great.